What is up, everyone? Sorry about that little technical mishap. But this is Jake
And this is Lincoln.
in the booth. We are here with our quarterfinals of our 42-player Modern RCQ 1K. If you are watching on Twitch, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Give us some of those Bezos bucks. Get notified whenever the channel goes live. If you are watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. And I don't know, mention what your favorite modern deck is in the comments. Who do you got in this match? Orzhov, Blink, Boros Energy. If you were playing RCQ, mention, hey, what deck are you going to be playing? Or what are you going to be playing for RCQ? Trying to think of anything else. If you like any of the cards you saw today, you can probably find them on impactgamingcenter.gg. If you're in the area, I'm pretty sure the shop will probably have 2 or 3 more RCQs, so come out and check them out. Let's see if we can break the record for 42. That's a lot of people. It's been a 6-round event, but we are here. And finally, in our cut to top 8.
Absolutely. And last but not least, thank you for joining us.
This has been a long day.
Yeah.
These players have played, what, a bunch of Magic? A lot of Magic? I don't know, a ton. But I think. Do you know if they split or not?
I do not know actually. I'm not sure. So with
So we'll see if they're playing for the prizing or if they're playing for the. Oh,
all right. Sorry, had to give him the thumbs up that they are good to go.
So, we will see. I guess we'll figure out who the higher seed is by whoever goes first.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
Now this matchup is a really interesting one. Both decks play really strong boards. Boros Energy is naturally going to be able to be a bit more aggressive, but I think that the Blink strategy has really proven to be very strong lately.
yeah, the black white blink deck is generally fairly strong against other creature based decks. Looks like Way was the higher seed, so he was going first. Um, Usually black white is pretty strong against a lot of creature decks. Solitude is a great Solitude Ephemerate, great multi creature removal
Mhm.
spell where you can pick off 2 creatures and block with Solitude, making it roughly like a 3 for 2 or whatever it
Right,
is.
right.
But also having lifelink matters a lot. Way is also going to be playing a bunch of creatures which might have been in his graveyard, which makes it real good
Yeah,
here for Mr. Emperor of Bones.
yeah.
But
Now, leading off with the Ragavan is a really strong play, especially when Tony is going for a tap land. That Ragavan's going to connect.
ooh,
Unless
that's
it
a
wants to
scary
pitch
one.
cast to Solitude or something, but
I don't think he has it in
I
hand. Looks
don't
like
think so
Tony's
either.
got a fair amount of lands.
Yeah.
Way's gonna crack in with the monkey.
Okay.
Tony down to 18.
And as
That's a
they say,
fatal push, which, I don't think that's doing a whole lot. But we saw on Tony's deck list, he's not playing the 4 fatal pushes. He's only got 3, so ripping an extra one off the top. Way may not know this right now, but that could be a huge difference.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Pay 3. What do we got? I got a Fable. And there's a
Wow.
Fable.
Turn 2 Fable. Way is off to a really strong start. Tony is going to see how he can recover from this best. But between the Ragavan and the Goblin Shaman to make some treasures, there's a lot of ramp happening on Way's side of the field.
A ton of opportunity. I think the problem of not playing this Thoughtseize turn 1 is that Way was able to explode a really strong turn 2 play with a 3-drop,
Yeah.
proving Ragavan's the best Birds of Paradise we've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the Thoughtseize. Yeah, okay. So a pretty good hand from Way. Jake, what are you taking here?
I respect it. So it depends if Tony's going to play the second Thoughtseize he has, but if I only have one, I don't know. I agree with taking the Pride, but that Spiromancer is going to come down.
Okay, he's going to take both.
He's going to take both, but that Spiromancer really, that's going to draw Way into more action.
Yes.
But when you go down more, you're right.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, he had some fetch and shock action going on. But yeah, so Tony, I actually really like that play to double Thoughtseize. It's going to put him in a very awkward spot for just a bit as his life total is suddenly in jeopardy. But as you know, Ketramos can really help stabilize, and now he just has to deal with what's on the board. Tony doesn't have a fatal push in hand that I've seen yet. Witch Enchanter's no good. I'm looking at an Engineered Explosives. Can deal with one of them.
I don't know. The problem is Way just keeps putting more things in the battlefield, and Goblin Bombardment
Wow.
is a real good one there.
This is going to put some serious pressure on
Tony.
Tony's life total.
And Tony
Wow.
just keeps. I mean, not to sound mean here, but he keeps whiffing.
Yeah,
There's
these-
not a.
yeah.
He needs a powerhouse card, and right now he isn't drawing a powerhouse card. The problem that I find with these black white blink decks is if you don't draw your engines or your key pieces,
Mhm.
you don't do anything.
Right.
And
yeah.
while Tony's played Thoughtseize, which did pull two of Way's really important cards, Way was able to discard, I think, two of those lands to get two new bangers. So,
He was not, because the Spyro also got taken off the Thoughtseize.
well, the
But-
Fable.
Oh, you're right. The Fable. I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna see what. So we got the Solitude.
That's a really good way to try and stabilize here. He
But no
doesn't
Ephemerate.
haven't. Yeah, no Ephemerate yet.
I'm gonna fetch. Probably just getting a planes, I assume.
Now, I chatted with both of these players just before the top 8, and Way, as you can see, calm and collected. He's been here many times before. But Tony shared with me that he has not top 8'd any real event in the last 10 years. And so
Oh,
he
that's
is-
a while.
He is sweating bullets, and he is really stressed. He has got that restless leg syndrome going on. So he's he's really intensely considering how he's going to get through here.
I think when you come to top 8s, you've already made what I would say 98% of the room didn't make.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to believe in your own skill. You may not, and you're not going to win every game. You're not going to win every match. Even when you top 8, it's just another game of Magic.
Absolutely.
You just
Absolutely.
you gotta come in with the idea, maybe you win, maybe you don't. That's why you got 3 games of Magic to play. You may not get the first one, and it's always hard. It's always a little disheartening when you face a deck like Boros Energy, and they get to be on the play,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just forced
on the
not.
play with the turn 1 Ragavan, no less.
Yeah.
And you have to stare down a start like that.
It is rough. Can we get here all the decks that made the top 8? We will do that after this game. I believe Lincoln took a photo of all of them so we can run
Yes.
down who's in top 8 and what's being played. If you are interested, though, I'm very certain Alex does post all the deck lists at some point. So don't worry, you will get a chance to see them all.
Absolutely.
Solitude, Pitching Witch, Chainer, going to pick off the Ragavan.
Okay. Yeah, I like that play. He needs to stop him from ramping. He can't wait and hope he top decks an Ephemerate. But yeah,
No.
Tony's life total is in a really precarious spot. He's at
Sit.
4 right now.
Is that 4?
Yeah, the connection from the Goblin Bombardment there.
That's
And then
right.
Way should heal 2 from the Solitude, but it looks like they
No, he sacked it to Bombardment.
Sack to Bombardment. Good reminder. This is what I have you here for, Jake. My goodness, I'm just missing everything.
But I think Tony's just dead here, right? Because
Yep.
yeah,
and
he's
he
gonna
scoops it
sack
up.
5.
Scoops it up. All right.
Let's bring it back to the booth.
Well, a explosive game 1 for Way. Had almost everything he wanted. Tony playing very, very well with the double Thoughtseize to start to slow down whatever Way had going on. And yet the Fable still let Way cycle off those 2 lands. That was really, really explosive and exactly what Way wanted to see.
So I will. You want to take Tony's deck? I'll take Way's deck.
You got it. You got it.
Let's talk about sideboards.
All right, we're pulling these up on our phones.
I got Way. So Way has 2 Aven Interrupters, 2 Vindicates, 2 Wrath of the Skies, 3 Orcish Bowmasters. 2
You are not on Way.
Oh my gosh,
You are on
you
Tony.
are right. I'm a goofball. We got 2 Magebane Lizards, 2 Showdown the Scalds, 1 Ghost Vacuum, 3 Wear and Tear, 1 Blood Moon, 1 Surgical Extraction, 3 Consigned to Memories, and 2 Orm's Chance.
Wonderful. Tony is running in his sideboard 2 Aven Interrupters, 2 Vindicates, 2 Wrath of the Skies, 3 Orcish Bowmasters, 2 Surgical Extractions, 1 Duress, and 3 copies of White Orchid Phantom.
That's really surprising not hearing the Bowmasters in the main. Because usually the deck plays 1 or 2.
This deck has 1 Bowmaster in the main.
Okay, so this is really the sideboard for, I assume, this matchup, because Bowmaster is really good at picking off the Ragavans and the Ocelot Prides and making chump blockers. And then what else is he going to
Yeah, so I have to assume that Tony is going to bring in the 2 Wrath of the Skies and the 3 Orcish Bowmasters. There is a possibility that we bring in the Surgicals to deal with Flage, but I just don't I don't know for sure that that's a decision he's going to make. I think the rest of these, Aven Interrupter is
not
all right.
a Boros card.
Right, yeah, I think most of the rest of the sideboard won't be coming in. Same for Vindicate. Vindicate's a really great card for some of these matchups that have absolute hammers that they drop. World
Yep.
Breakers and Ulamogs and I mean Murktides that are 8/8s in the air. Not
Vindicate, not Boros
yeah,
energy.
feels really bad. What do you think Wei is going to be bringing in this matchup?
Showdown's okay because the black white deck's going to try to go long, and being able to get more cards out is good. Wear Tear can kill the overlords effectively, and the relics if you know you can pick off that relic beforehand. Surgical Extraction's okay. The problem with surgical is you don't. I mean, you can if you get Ketchamos in the graveyard, you can hit it, but if you can't respond to a 2/8 overlord mill.
Mm-hmm.
So, because the Overlord mill it's all one action. You can either respond before or after. There is no during.
Mm-hmm.
Consigned memory is okay. It stops some attackers. I don't really think it's that good. But that's probably all I bring. Consigned to memory, but that's really for
Yeah.
just Eldrazi. And we looked at Wei's list in an earlier match. He's only playing one blue source.
Yeah, and that's actually pretty common for these energy lists. They started running one hollowed fountain and then throwing consigns in the side.
You
Now
have to.
I'm going to take up the position that I actually always bring in consigns into this matchup because of the value you can get on hitting the triggered on the end step for Philia and Flicker Wisp, right?
Yes.
So they'll blink their own um, Overlord or something to that effect, and on the end step when that trigger goes on the stack, you counter that, and what they've done is just permanently exiled their own overlord.
I agree.
So I think that it does have some pretty real value in this matchup. However, there are times where, especially in that last game, Consign wouldn't have really done anything for Wei. If anything, it would have just slowed down his strategy. So it really comes down to, and that's the thing about sideboarding almost all the time, is that the more cards you bring in, the more diluted your main strategy becomes. And what we just saw out of Wei was that his main strategy worked really well. That was exactly what he wanted to do. So post boarding and being on the draw may change the decision making for Wei.
Yep.
But my goodness, the original aggro strategy paid off great.
Do you want to run through the top 8 decks super fast? So we know 2 of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let me run over the other 6. Our other top 8s, we have Kevin, and he is playing Jeskai Wizard.
Well, we had Kevin in the booth earlier.
And this is actually a deck designed by our own Jacob sitting right here. So happy to see that represented in the top 8. This deck looks nasty. We have Johnny, who is here with, let me make sure that this is not Johnny. I'm sorry, this is Will. Piloting the deck created by his buddy Johnny, and he is playing Dimir Frogtide. Very similar list to what you've been seeing, and to what you'd see on mtgdecks.net. Oh goodness, some of these names I'm learning that I am not nearly as good at reading as I thought. I'm very dyslexic. But Joseph here is also on Dimir Frogtide. We've got 2 of them in his list and Will's list. Both look very, very similar. All right, we've got our own Wei and Tony, whom we've discussed. We have got Ben, and Ben is playing the Kethis combo. This is the method where Ben's just not ready to give up on Grinding Station, and so they pivot to Kethis, and that's what some players are doing. And evidently it's working out here for Ben, making it to the top 8 of this relatively large RCQ.
We had Ben also in the booth after his feature match.
Wonderful.
We talked a lot about Kethis. That was a sick deck.
Now, this deck here does not have a name on it, but I happen to know that this is Mike, who is our 3rd Frogtide player in the top 8. So very surprising, as if you check mtgdecks.net, and it depends on how much value you place on that, is not a tier 1 deck at the time, and yet we are seeing 3 of them represented in the top 8 here. We also have Lucas, and Lucas is playing... he's playing Goryo's Vengeance.
Ooh,
very interesting. The Goryo's Reanimator. 5-color Goryos, in fact.
Oh my.
Very nice. So just want to make a shout out on what we're seeing. We've got a few more seconds as the players get set up that lots of tiered
very diverse
decks. Yeah, I'm seeing no Eldrazi notably. Not a single Eldrazi or ramp made it. Only 1 energy. Yeah, 1 black-white blink list, really a lot of diversity. Really love seeing that in the modern format.
I agree.
That's a sign of a healthy format, is having good diversity. But let's kick it back over to these players.
So I want to give a quick shout out to the 3 Team Impact Gaming Center teammates that made it. Both Lincoln and I are part of Team Impact Gaming Center. Ben, Kevin, and Will are all part of the team as well. And we're not trying to play favorites. I am super happy that our boys made it.
Yes, and I'm really excited to see how they're going to perform. I cannot wait. I think it's going to be really exciting to get to watch everybody's really highly skilled play go throughout this top 8.
Yep.
But turning our attention to what's going on the field right now, Wei has fetched and shocked, and are we going to see a turn 1 monkey again?
Nope.
We are not. It is the Guide of Souls, arguably a better play on the draw.
Oh, Guide of Souls enables so
Yes.
much out of this deck. I mean, I think Guide of Souls might be in contention for one of the best 1-drops ever printed.
Power Crept Soul Sisters, yeah.
Yeah.
How can you not love it?
Just thinking, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's just a Soul Sister.
Mhm.
But you put 1 extra toughness and 2 more abilities on the card, and you go from what is just a fine card to insane.
Yes, yeah.
But Tony with a Surveil, let's see if we can get maybe a little more oomph out of the deck for this round. He's got a Flicker
So
Wisp.
I really want to draw attention to something real quick. Looking at Tony's hand, it looks like he did bring in the Vindicates. So I know
Ooh.
when we were discussing it, we didn't think that would be a good choice. That said, Tony is in the top 8, and me and Jake are not. So
Yeah.
I would love to see how that works out.
Oh, this is
Wow,
that's a fat rip. That's a good one.
those solitudes are going to be really good here.
Do you solitude this God of Souls right now?
I'm gonna solitude the Guide of Souls if I see an Ajani on the stack. If my
That is
opponent,
very fair.
that's how I'm playing this right now, and I think Tony's gonna do that exactly. Yeah, goes to the end step, takes down the Overlord. And I not to sound too much like a nerd here, but I am excited to be watching this game. That is a intense sequence we've already seen on turn 2, and I guess not sequence quite yet, but just really excited to see how this game develops. Another guy.
Died.
Wow.
We
Here it is. Yeah. So Tony's showing some of his I'm sorry, go ahead, Jake.
The problem, so he asked if Oslo Pride was a 1-drop.
Mhm.
And the problem with this is even if you get rid of one of the guides, there's another one on the stack. It's already coming down. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you
And I think yeah, man.
let's see. And
There it is. That's a
look
really
at
good
a
play.
wisp.
Let's see if Wei does it. I haven't seen Wei's hand, but he has the Flooded Strange. He could have a Hollowed Fountain consign the Flicker Wisp. Very nice.
Ooh, there
Very
we
nice.
go.
Great play to deal with that. All right. And now I apologize for the life totals. It is really hard to keep up on them. There's so many little bits of life changing, especially with a Guide of Souls, with a fetch lands. I swear, every time I look up, I'm noticing
We're on a
these
different
lines are
life.
little- yeah.
It is the hardest part about commentating is talking about the game and paying attention to the little intricacies, especially life totals in Modern where they change turn by turn. Like in
Yes.
Standard, you may not have a massive life total change for a while. In Modern, it's fetching and shocking and life gaining and bolting and this
Yeah.
thing pays a life. This thing does this. It's a lot of little things. So if you're ever confused, just look at the phone.
Absolutely.
I-
Always refer to the player's life total.
At some point, there should be I wish that we could get a tablet out there
Yes.
just to make it easy.
Yeah.
Be the same spot every time. But we got 3 mana. There's a Flage. Flage
Flage
the
is
Wisp.
good here.
So Wei should be going up to 21.
Yeah.
Gain an
And-
energy.
So, Wei, I don't know if he has another land, but he has an Arena of Glory on the field. Flage is not quite escapable. Sorry, those foils make it really hard to tell for sure. Have their decks blinged out just to make sure it's hard to see on camera.
That's my favorite part. I don't know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. No one ever knows what I'm playing. So looks like Tony has 2 March of Otherworldly Lights, and I don't know what that middle card is.
So, really important
a
to note
Fenrir?
here. March is going to be able to hit an escaped Flage. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
Wei does escape the Flage here, and I don't know if he has another land, but if Wei escapes Flage with haste off that Arena of Glory, that's a great window for Tony to go ahead and march it and get rid of it for good.
Well, we're only on 3 other cards in Flage in the graveyard, so we got a little bit
Right.
still.
Good point. Good point. Now it is a
There's-
surveil land. He fills the pin up one more.
And here is everyone's favorite way to fill the graveyard. Oh, Fabe.
He thought about it. Let's see what he's thinking instead.
The problem with Fable the Mirror Breaker is Tony can't just, 2-for-1 this with those marches. He might decide to get rid of the enchantment to make sure that Wei isn't able to just freely stack the graveyard, bring the Flage back.
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so Fable is on the stack. Let's see what Tony's thinking. Now I see one March, and I can't.
He's got 2 marches.
Oh, it's an alternate March. Oh.
Yeah, one's the main. One of them is the regular
Yeah.
art. That one's the special art. I think the other card in his hand might be an ephemerate.
Okay. An ephemerate could be a house of a card if he draws
Yep.
a solitude or something like that off the top. But as of right now, ephemerate is okay. Now
swap.
with 5 mana, if he top decks a solitude, well, no, I guess he still has to have enough to pay for the ephemerate too. So don't listen to me.
Passes. Not going to play the swamp. Interesting. So we're going to discard 2. Discard. We need to discard one, at least one more.
Mhm.
Just one. Discard draw.
Very intense moment. You can see Tony is heavily considering what his lines are. Yep, there it is. So let's see if Tony
Here comes
hits it
the
with the
Flage.
march. He moves it to the front of his hand. Yeah, I think he's gonna march this Flage. Flage is good. Very good. Marches the Flage. Absolutely. Yep. Very clean play there from Tony. Exactly what he needed to do.
Get that guy out of this battlefield and into the exile zone.
Let's never see that escaped again. All right. So Tony. So here's the thing right now. Tony's hand is not good.
No, it's pretty.
So, yeah,
It's pretty dead.
he really needs. Now it could be great with an ephemerate. He could make this a really, really good top deck, but he really needs to find
He
something.
drew a Thoughtseize.
That's not what you want to see right now. Yeah, but you run it out. I think that's correct. Just in case Wei's got more heat,
So he's
which he
got-
does. Showdown,
yeah,
what a
oh,
hit!
Get that card out. Get that card out of his
Yeah.
hand. Yeah. If Tony didn't get that Thoughtseize, I mean, if he bricked a land, that's just bad luck, and it is what it is. But making sure Wei isn't able to showdown and theoretically draw 4 cards is huge.
Yes, yes. So yeah, that would actually ended up being a really big Thoughtseize. But let's see if
Flip the Fable. Thank you.
yes, sir. Let's see if we can.
2 more.
Oh man. Yeah, the pressure is on for Tony, and I know he is feeling it. He really needs to rip something off the top.
What if we got Solitude here? We get an Overlord.
Now he can hard cast a Solitude.
Oh, there's a
Ooh,
Ketramos.
wait a minute, Ketramos is online right now. That might be it. The lifelink is going to help him stabilize, and you can see Tony starts accelerating his rate of play. He's really excited to have this Ketramos, and I can see why. That might have been the stabilizing card. He gets to hold up Ephemerate in case a static prison shows up as the answer to this Ketramos. This is a really great
This
top
is
deck
huge.
for Tony.
Ketramos, I mean, it makes the deck.
Yeah.
And I have some thoughts about the deck construction of Black White Blink with how many. I mean, you have to play your pushes, you got to play your Thoughtseizes, but how many do you play until you kind of hit a threshold of I've changed my deck into just bricks?
Yes.
Because the deck does not, it doesn't recover well until you draw your haymakers,
Right. Right. Yeah.
which we might hopefully on Tony's side to see here. But
Okay. So Wei's hand is a discharge and one other.
here's a thought:
Yeah.
if do you, and this is my thought on Ketramos, last turn you play Ketramos, and if Wade, you just make the big bet and say, okay, I don't think you're gonna. I know you have a not a SAG prison. Do you just say, I am going to ephemerate my Ketramos, draw a card, next turn, no, I'm going to draw a card because of rebound?
So yeah, I think that might be an option. I'm gonna take the negative on that, and I think that
Okay.
he just wants to start banging with Ketramos. He needs
So,
to start gaining some life,
yep.
stabilizing, putting some pressure on Wei. Off that thought seize, he knows that right this second, um, Wei doesn't have an answer. And now, something that Tony could do would be to ephemerate his Ketramos and block
Yep.
to stabilize 4 more life. Personally, I wouldn't do that because I'm really scared of the static prison off the top. Static prison off the top is how Wei is going to really turn this game around, and he needs to be able to ephemerate to answer that. Good thought though, Jake. Checking the deck list for me, seeing how many static prisons does
Two,
Wei have,
yeah,
and
he's
Wei
got
only
two.
has 2.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
Oh my goodness, that's a really good card.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, that's gonna help Wei dig. It's very good. But even so, I'm still really committed to the idea of swinging with this Ketramos to make sure you're threatening Wei's life total.
Yep.
As long as the Ketramos is good on, um, as long as the Ketramos stays on the table, he does win this race.
Oh, 100%. I think the scariest thing, well, to me, the scariest thing right now is that Fable of the Mirror Breaker. If that flips, you're gonna make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different goblins,
Mhm.
7, 8, 8 more goblins because of the treasure tokens. Because you do the double Fable thing,
Yeah,
which is terrifying.
and
Two Fables copy each other. If that Fable flips, could be. Oh, I didn't even see that message from the chat, but thank you very much, Judge Elsa. We were both in the same wavelength there.
yeah. Jake hadn't quite read the comment, but he made the same sentiment. Really great thought there, Judge Elsa. And we'll have to see if Wei sees that line as well. Okay, so he is gonna rip the ephemerate line. Now, personally, I don't love it because I'm just so scared of a static prison right now.
Yep.
But I have to say I respect the decision. I really do. Yep, good. Yeah.
Block the real one.
Well done there. And I think that was his thought process. He just wanted to make sure he hadn't clarified super clearly. But yeah, Tony really protecting his life total.
Does Tony have another surveillant? Let's see. Yep. Rebound. Draw a card.
He found a fatal push.
Oh, that's huge.
That was good. He's got the fetch lands too, so he can push the first.
He doesn't even. Well, Ketramos already left.
What do you mean? Say again?
Ketramos has already left the battlefield. He has Revolt. So we can just
Oh,
push
you're right. You're right. Yeah, thank you.
I guess he wants to wait, though. So he could. Okay, so we're going to wait on the fetch land. You could have pushed that turn because.
Interesting. He
I
doesn't.
think I see a Stag Prison. I didn't see a Stag Prison. That's a Thraben Charm.
Okay, Thraben Charm's no good.
Thraben Charm does not. Bowmasters.
Okay. So, yeah, Tony, again, as stated, Jake and I are not in the top 8, and Tony is. I would have swung with the Ketramos there.
To just get in, start pressuring Wei's life. He couldn't because he flickered it.
Yeah. Oh, see, Jake, this is why I keep you around. Holy cow.
Because I love janky decks like this, and I played my fair amount of Ketramos so far. So I do think I have a fair amount of knowledge about this deck.
For sure.
it is. It's not an easy. I won't say it's like an overly complicated deck to play, but it is. There are if you don't see all the lines, it is incredibly difficult. So we saw where Tony flashed in the Bowmasters with the Goblin or the Fail the Mirror Breaker trigger on the stack, and to hopefully ping Wei, but Wei said, "No, I'm gonna 3-win charm this guy. Get him out of here."
Yeah. He actually galvanic discharged.
Oh, discharge it. Did we discard the 3-win charm?
Yes, he pitched it to the Fable.
So trying to draw something better than what we got. So we got 2 mana. What are we gonna do?
Now,
Goblin Bombardment.
I don't know exactly how impactful this will be, but Tony is only running 1 Surveil land, so he would not be able to.
We haven't had a permanent leave the battlefield yet, Tony.
Oh dear.
I don't. So I imagine he'll fetch or something. Oh no, he had the orc do leave, so we're good.
Yep.
You got a question about a friend in there in the chat, Lincoln?
Is this the Lincoln that was playing Murktide last night? Yes, it absolutely is. It is I. I did 4-0 the FNM last night. I then came here and 2-3'd this RCQ. I came in very cocky off of that FNM, and I paid dearly for it. So
how many rounds was the last night? 3 or 4?
Last night was 4 rounds.
So 4, and you went 3 and 2. So it's 9 total matches. So you had a 50% win rate. That sounds like Murktide to me.
Hey, way to way to spend that. And also,
no. Here's the relic.
I did not miss your comment there, Michael. Thank you greatly for the shout out. But yeah, that relic is a gigantic play.
That might get Tony. That.
To draw the first one, and then like I got a top, got the second one, and then the graveyard.
Yep. And Wei is just running through the communication to make
you
sure
draw
he's doing
3 cards off this 1 card.
You can even draw 4 because Relic has draw a card printed on it. So, and he's doing exactly that. Oh my goodness.
It's better than Ancestral Recall.
Yeah. Wow.
Down to 10. Wei still at a healthy 19, but Tony's got a full grip of cards now.
Right. And Wei is facing down one really big problem, which is the board and cards. And I take it back. He's facing down a lot of big problems.
Combat. Swing with Ketramos.
And now I'm seeing the judge also saying, think we see a static prison in hand. I haven't been able to make that out yet.
That was a while ago. That was the 3-win charm.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So I was thinking they definitely would have deployed it if they had it, but this is going to be a pretty good spot with the Goblin Bombardment. Give him the chance to copy the Goblin Shaman.
You need a moose altar for control. Why is it a moose? I think it's a cat.
Yeah.
Bowmasters. Shoot you. Tick up the bow. And
Catch your moose. Love it. Love it. Yeah.
Ha, that's funny.
But yeah, he's going to be able to make the token, throw the token. But wow, that relic. I mean, we've got a game on our hands. Emperor of the Bones, not looking so great right now with empty bins.
I think it's an Overlord.
Oh my goodness.
You, after being in the booth for a while, you get super good at being like, I know what this card is from the millisecond they show me the card.
Yeah, I'm struggling a lot with picking these things up. I appreciate you keeping me honest.
Ophelia, we took the Bogart Trawler, which isn't. Oh, he does have an Emperor Bones though.
13.
Okay, he did have an Emperor. Okay, I feel a little better about myself now.
He has Mr. Bones.
Which really, really great card. Doesn't look quite as fantastic in this immediate moment as both players have empty graveyards.
Tony's got whatever he's got whatever he milled off of the Overlord. So he could. So what Tony can do is play the Emperor Bones, exile the Philia before declare attackers, animate the Philia, swing with the Philia, trigger the Overlord, flicker it.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my, and it looks like that
Trigger
might
the
be what
Ketramos.
we're seeing.
We should draw a card off Ketramos.
Looks like it.
We did not.
Okay. Yeah.
You Emperor Bones is nuts because you actually draw 3 cards off of him with Ketramos. Because you get the immediate exile. Or I guess no, it's 2 cards. You get the immediate exile, and then the when this creature leaves exile, because it has a finality counter.
Yeah, and now it looks like Tony just gestured to the reflection of Kiki Jiki for the Philia attack trigger. Really unique.
So we're
line.
gonna reset the Fable.
Very interesting line.
Oh, you know what I did? I messed up. Let's see. Where is Wind Marker? Wind Marker weighs on the blue side.
Here's second. Type 6.
Bowmaster's good.
Yeah. And you're getting 4.
Like it takes
Wind
out our
Marker.
Yeah.
I got it.
There we go. All right. So props to Wei. He's holding out here. He's not giving up.
I mean, these Boros energy decks, they are a hyper aggro deck that also grinds like a champ.
Yes. And at this point in time, we very legitimately could see a top deck Flage, Flage, ETB trigger, hit Emperor, sack it to the Goblin Bombardment to finish off the Emperor, Arena of Glory, escape the Flage, go in for lethal.
Huge.
It's legitimately doable right now if he finds a Flage off the top.
How many? We'll
Oh,
see.
unless he doesn't, he may not have enough in the bin. There's so much exile. Yep, I take all of that back, folks. He does not have enough in the bin.
You can still pick off the Emperor, though.
Yes, yeah.
That's not fast.
That's not a land way. That's not a Johnny. Uh-oh. There's the blue one. There's our Hollowed
Right.
Fountain.
Now, I just saw, as Wei was searching his library, I got the chance to see most of the cards in there. I did not see him bring in the consigns.
I don't think he did.
So, and that, hey, that's fair. I do think consign to be able to hit things like the Emperor of Bones trigger, as it is a triggered ability after it receives +1/+1 counters from the adapt. So it can have some pretty major impact, but that's all right. Wei opted not to bring it in. Now he's looking at a tear. He has the ability, a wear and tear, to deal with that Overlord, but I don't know that. I do think Wei is just staring down a lot of problems right now, and how
Yes.
he go about solving each of them is going to be big. He opts to get rid of the wear and tear and draw another replacement. So much tension between these players right now. You can absolutely feel the just the weight of this game.
We let's see. What is we what are we doing? Did we did an arena, did we? No. Spiromancer. Discard. Oh, there is a
It
consign.
is. Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So we have one consign.
At least, yeah. And at this point, I'm not. The consign's usefulness could absolutely still be there, but it. I agree with the decision to get rid of it. There, as it just looks not. It just looks worse and worse the longer the game goes on.
Yeah.
You really want to use it to
You got to blow them out. You
yeah.
got to get like a massive blowout with that card,
exactly,
which
right.
can happen.
Yes, very much so. Yeah, on turn 2, push the Philia, consign the ETB or the end step trigger for bringing back an Overlord. I mean, you can absolutely blow him out with that card. All right, Wei gonna send it back, but Wei's board just got pretty wide. So I think right now Tony's win condition is to just keep swinging that Ketramos.
Oh, 100%. That Ketramos is going into the red zone every single chance it gets to.
Absolutely. Now he's got a Flicker Wisp for an Overlord. He's got another Overlord. Yeah, lots of options here for Tony.
Sorry about life totals. 8. Tony, I think, should have lost a life. It is difficult, these Ketramos triggers, to remember that you lose a life, but it is important. So we have a Bowmaster's, another Ketramos. Yeah, I think going into the rest of this RCQ season, we're going to see, I think, a lot more either Dismembers or Celestial Purges coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Celestial Purge being incredibly good versus both this deck and Frogs.
Yeah.
So I could see maybe not, I mean, it's hard to plan out for your first RCQ, but once you've established who's playing what in the local meta, Celestial Purge I think that card has a lot of stock in it right now.
Agreed. Agreed.
If I was a broker, I would be buying Celestial Purge.
I tell you what, if I was a broker, I wish I would have bought Consigned to Memories right away.
Oh my gosh, that
goodness,
card's $7.
Crazy.
This card's $7. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I do think it's been, if memory serves, 7 to 8 for a while now. And I have to imagine it just got more and more expensive as this Ugin caused such a scare for the modern format.
I think one of the main reasons we don't have any Eldrazi players.
Okay,
and-
$6 or so, 5, 6, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the main reason we don't have a lot of Eldrazi players in our top 8 today is I don't think a lot of them are able to get Ugins in time, which is understandable. I mean, it's a literal brand new card out of a set that is, I'm not gonna lie, kind of pricey to open.
Right, absolutely.
Got Solitude, gonna draw off the Solitude. Solitude gonna go away.
I'll move to combat.
Moving to combat.
And sorry for not paying much attention here. I had a thought and I wanted to make sure I get it down in my notes so I can not forget it.
Swing in with all the dudes. So we can make some less than ideal blocks and throw. Oh no, wait. Where did Wade's Goblin Bombardment go? Did we lose the Goblin? I think we lost the Goblin Bombardment to. I think we lost the Goblin
I
Bombardment.
think it's currently upside
Oh,
down.
it's wisped. Oh, that's nuts. There's the discharge. He's got 3 energy in the bank.
Yeah.
Just gonna blow up Mr. Bones.
Seems like a pretty good call.
I agree.
Way is playing so well right now to just stay alive, stay in this game,
Yep.
despite that Ketramos just life linking for days.
Bogart Troller got chumped. Way up to 10.
All right, looks like we've got a judge call. I'm not exactly sure what about.
Whose turn are we on?
This.
No, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm attacking.
What are these here?
This is my goblin token.
Goblin token.
Goblin.
Oh,
I think you mean Orc Army.
So what was it that? Oh, last turn. Okay.
Oh. Like this turn?
Did you attack with this last turn?
No.
Okay.
Did you cast it this turn or last turn? That's the.
I cast this last turn.
Oh yeah, that's no.
Okay, now, right. So
All right.
he thought there was a creature that attacked that should have been attacking. So, okay, carry on. Thank
Always good to call, Judge.
Yep. When in doubt, when in doubt.
That's why he's there.
Playing,
No.
these 3 are for what?
This is-
And we pay him to be here, so let's get our money's worth while we can.
So
You
can-
judge.
We got another judge call to follow it up. This time Way has got a question.
I'm trying to figure out what
that's it. I'm tired of the map.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
So he did actually
Yeah,
cast it that turn because we were tracking the mana.
Yeah, 3 mana for the Bogart Trawler.
So what happens like?
Oh, he
swinging like this,
did.
And there was another Emperor Bones.
you. Okay.
I casted like 2 discharge. The first one was targeting Emperor Bones. Take the Emperor Bones. The second one was I killed this.
Okay, but did it happen last turn?
No,
This
this is
turn,
happening
right
this turn.
Okay.
He
So that
did
happened this-
cast it this turn.
I did cast it this turn.
Okay. So that was this turn then.
So I was not able to attack when I declared an attack.
Okay. So, and we have not. How far have we moved beyond this happening? We're still in the combat
We're
step?
still in combat step.
Still in
Okay, cool. Okay, well this is pretty easy then. So we're gonna rewind to where this is the attacker.
Mhm.
So take away your energy.
Oh, it was 3.
Right. Put these back in your hand. Okay. Emperor Bones is here. He's activated it. All this is there. So this would be
This is all
the attack.
this is
Okay. Are there any attack triggers? Okay. That's not when he attacks or anything?
He's already tapped it.
He's already done that trigger.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then we are at that, and now you can have your responses.
All right.
We're good.
Judge is able to resolve this, and thankfully, Wei still wants to use both of those discharges, so he's not going to dispute the call. But Wei could have made the argument there that he did not want to discharge if it turns out the Bogart was not attacking. Thankfully, Wei is going to go ahead and cast both of them anyway, so no problems with information there. Once again, big lifelink off this Ketramos.
Yeah,
What a
this-
stabilizer.
This Ketramos is doing it like it's out there. He's gaining life. He's drawing cards. I mean, this card, Ketramos is a wild card from a standard set that I think everyone felt very lackluster about. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, Aether Drift did not perform well in pre-release at all. And I know that Bloomborough, in theory, had a really, really great turnout. So it may just be that Aether Drift came short of that. But yeah, Aether Drift did not do very well.
I think it's hard to sell Magic players. Like it is not only are multiple plane sets not very popular, but I to be quite honest, I don't like race cars.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I feel you.
like, and we had felt so like kind of like whatever about hat sets.
Yes.
And
yes.
this one felt, and Aether Drift really felt like, oh, we had Jace with a cowboy hat on. We had Detective Jace. We had, I don't think LCI was as much a hat set. It was very heavily themed, but at least it was themed well, I think.
Mhm. Now, real quick, looking at what just happened, Wade did find the Flage and execute the play that I had been talking about a long time ago. Not quite enough cards in the bin for the escape, thanks to that Bogart Trawler, though I don't know that it actually hit all that much. But the Flage cleared out the one of those creatures, I think it was the Bogart Trawler, and then he Goblin Bombardmented it at the Flicker Wisp. Now, Wake doesn't quite have the ability to escape the Flage, but when he does get there, that could be gigantic.
Oh, it could be huge. And now we see the power of Overlord, where it's not the cards you mill, it just has to be in your graveyard.
Indeed. And so that Solitude is going to shore up Tony into the potential of seeing Flage, and this lifelink is just going to keep doing work.
Yeah.
I want Tony to win entirely for the hat, is what we are seeing in the comments, and yeah, that is a fabulous hat.
Do you understand it? I don't get it. I mean, it's a cool hat. I just don't understand it.
I sure do not either. Yeah, I'm colorblind, and I can tell that there are a lot of colors on that hat. Whatever it is expressing, it is most certainly beautiful.
Maybe if you know the Lust God, you can cue us into what this hat means, but I couldn't tell you. I'm not a smart man.
I beg to differ there, Jake.
Oh.
Now, these players are really, really in the tank. And Jake, correct me if I'm wrong here, but in the top 8, these players do not have a round clock.
Correct. There is no round timer. There is still. Oh no! Here's that static prism we've finally been searching for.
With how long this game has been going on, even with only 2, it was only a matter of time before he found it.
Yep.
But oh my goodness, that could swing this game.
Untap.
Now, it's not guaranteed because we've got these overlords. Oh, he's got a Witch Enchanter in hand.
That's huge.
Wow.
Huge.
Wow. We find the static prison, but even then the Witch Enchanter is there. And we're not going to deploy it yet. Let's see what we're thinking about. Now, Witch Enchanter would have been great to blow up that Goblin Bombardment.
I kind of wish the Peanut Gallery would move away from this match.
Yeah, I can go shoo them.
No. They have every right to stand there, but I do want our players to be focused in on their match.
Absolutely. And now, as I was bringing up just a moment ago, without the round clock, these players are really taking their time.
Yep.
Not in any bad way. They're definitely considering the ramifications of each play. And I would argue that Wei taking his time and really considering through his lines has given him the ability to hold on as long as he has, find some of his potential outs, and it's really important that both of these players are considering how to move forward each and every turn.
Yeah, there's no room for misplay here. You have only so many outs, and Ember Bones has got a lot of words on him. I mean, you don't need to know exactly what he does to be like, that's a lot of words on this
Yeah.
Match of the Gathering card.
Welcome to Modern Horizons 3.
Grab a Ketramos. Adapt.
Okay.
So we got a Ketram. We got another Ketramos.
And honestly, that's really good. I think if you're Tony, there are really only two things you need to think about, which is, do I hold my Witch Enchanter with the intent of clearing that static prison should he find another answer to Ketramos? Or am I going after the Goblin Bombardment to really help slow down any of the potential answers that
Yep.
Wei could have?
There is also a realistic world where if Wei waits this out, Tony could just mill himself.
Yeah,
I've done
Tony's
that
hand is
before.
getting very thin right now. He needs to be really cautious with these Overlord triggers.
You will, I mean, think about it. Your 60 card deck, you get 4 cards. I mean, realistically, you only have, and with how many cards this deck goes through, you probably only have, what, 5 or 6 good goes?
Yeah. And these players are currently on turn Infinity Billion. So
Oh, yeah, we're 14, 15 turns into this game or whatever.
So this is a really frustrating interaction here for Tony, which is he's going to target the elemental with the Bowmaster trigger, and what Wei can do is sacrifice the elemental to Goblin Bombardment, throw it at the body of Orcish Bowmasters, which then means the targeted ability fizzles, giving no 1/1 to Tony. So Wei, yeah, it's a really frustrating interaction for us Demir players to try and deal with a bombardment that's managed to stick.
Goblin Bombardment, I mean, Goblin Bombardment has never quite, I mean, I'm trying to put this. That card was a Timmy card for years and years, where it never quite broke out into huge competitive play until I think this Boros Energy deck.
Yep. And Wei is going to do that exactly. He's
Yep.
going to go ahead and start clearing up the field, make sure those Bowmasters don't show up, trigger fizzles. Great play. Great play.
Attempt to block.
Yep.
Ooh, don't be yawning. I'm tired. I've been in the booth all day. I'm getting sleepy.
Yeah.
So we're going to do. Okay, we can.
Oh, no. Okay.
Can you make a copy of your opponent's creatures with Fable?
I want to say no, but definitely fact check me on that.
I don't know. I mean, oh, he just made the token to block. I think that's what it is.
Well, now I'm curious.
It's only you control.
Wonderful, wonderful.
He's just making one to block.
Card's not too broken. That's what we care about. All right, now he is milling over some cards.
I think we're flaging. No. Wait. Did he make a copy of the Overlord?
Yeah.
How do we get the flage back?
Yeah. That is exactly what he did. He just copied the Overlord. I'm gonna step out there and call a judge real quick.
Be very tactile about it.
Yeah.
You can, but take the judge's side. Go ahead and do it. You're good. Just leave it on. We are going to make sure that didn't happen because you cannot make copies of your opponent's cards with Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. It's only copy of another target non-legendary creature you control.
Doesn't Fable be not legendary? Overlord is not.
It can only target yourself or your own stuff.
Oh, really?
You can't target your opponents.
Oh, I'm so bad.
Yeah.
How does it?
All right, where were we at? What happened?
I was attacking. He was at 5.
Okay.
Already mill 4 to return the card back.
So it did happen what we thought happened.
Build 4.
These are the
just took a little bit of pointing it out, just to make sure we understood, because Away was on top of it by saying the Overlord is not legendary, which is absolutely true, but that is not the only ramification there
Yep.
for Fable. So
It is only your things. I was pretty certain of that.
All right. And then
so our wonderful Judge Hagen is helping rewind that Overlord ECB trigger we just resolved.
okay, and now we have the attacking.
And now, just a quick shout out to our Judge Hagen. He has been a saint today, helping rewind some really complicated problems. While our players have been playing very tight and very consciously, Hagen has been a lifesaver for us today. So Hagen, if you end up watching this, huge shout out to you. Thank you, man.
Oh yeah, he's the in-house judge. I think he does roughly 80% of the Magic the Gathering RCQs and the shop needs. He's been a judge in the area for, as long as I've played. So yeah, huge shout out to Hagen. Good guy.
Yeah.
Down to
All
one.
right. There's the play. Way is on 1, Tony on 19. All right.
And think about this.
Big draw.
One point in this game, we thought Tony was dead.
We did. And to be fair, we were talking about what are those available outs, and sure enough, he rips a Ketramos.
Yep.
The out he needed. What a play. And Ketramos is just such a good stabilizing card here. That said, where is Ketramos?
Underneath the Static Prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other one was just the Emperor Bones copy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that is going to make the Witch.
Way has another Flage.
Very good.
So we can kill the Emperor of Bones.
If I'm in Way's seat, I'm killing the Emperor for
You
sure.
100% have to.
Oh, he's going to face. Interesting.
Interesting.
Let's see what he's got planned. But the Witch Enchanter that Tony is still holding on to.
From Catamos. Went from 19 to 18. Yeah. Sure. And now taking 3. Oh yeah. 16. And then I gain 4. And I'll
Gain
start
4.
Gain 2/4. Yeah, he just wrote 4 on the life pad. He gains life going 2/4.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, words are hard. Words are hard.
It's been a long day. These players have
Yes.
played You show me someone who's in a great mental state. How many after?
We
how
are
many
on
rounds?
7 hours of Magic right now.
Yeesh. We're on a full work day of Magic.
Yes. Gotta say, what a job. What a job. Now, what Way really needs to do, and there's not really a good way for him to do it, but he really needs to find a way to fill up the graveyard here.
Yeah, he's got another Spiromancer would be a great card. Another, I don't know how many more Fables he he's already played 2. I can't imagine he has more than 2 or 3 Fables.
Yeah, and even then, I don't know that Fable gets there. It probably does, but I think the availability to Witch Enchanter and blow up the Fable before it spins is there.
Yep.
But it does force him to choose that line instead of the Static Prison. All right, and he takes the Exile so that he can gain the life up to 6 off Solitude. He opts not to throw it with Goblin Bombardment. I think that's a really intelligent play.
Yeah, he needs 6 is a pretty healthy life total. There's not a whole lot that Tony's going to be doing here that is outrageous, honestly.
Right, right.
So we're gonna Witch Enchanter. We're gonna
He's gotta
kill.
take the
Okay, so
Fable.
we're gonna go after the Fable,
And
but
I like the play. I really do.
yeah,
We're just about on lethal.
It's still inevitable. It's still inevitable. It's at the end of the
Impending, but yeah, inevitable. Hey, I like inevitable too. That's a great way to put it.
what a cool keyword, impending, to like describe the feeling of an overlord. You like there's this bad thing, and and they like the impending cause or impending like it's just a tick down to how slowly this big scary thing is going to come after you. I think impending is such a sick keyword. That Flage is technically exiled under the Emperor Bones, so I mean he can't replay because they have counters, but
Yeah, yeah,
It
absolutely.
does I think technically matter, but I guess not really, because like one thing I'll do with Emperor Bones is you flicker it so you can this is like a very late game, but you can adapt, or you can grab a thing, play it, ephemerate. No, you can't. Sorry, there's only things. There's only one time. Never mind. Oh, You can ephemerate it to like reset it off the counters, so you can bring more things back.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what's new in Modern? Considering Eldrazi ramp for the RCQ tomorrow, is it worth it?
Where's there an RCQ?
Well,
tomorrow?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a great question. What
We are located
geographically where? We are in the beautiful
St.
Fairview
Louis
Heights.
area, Fairview Heights, St. Louis area.
Mhm.
Nope. We got. How did we? We didn't pay for it.
In Milwaukee. Understood.
Oh.
Understood. So I think that Eldrazi ramp should be in a really great spot right now, in theory. Now, I'm going to say that, and I want to clarify for you, today in our top 8, we actually saw 0 Eldrazi, either ramp or Tron, despite having many of them in the room. So I want to tell you that, yeah, the deck looks like it's great and positioned very well, and off of the one day of empirical evidence that we've accumulated so far, it did not actually seem to churn out the results that we were expecting.
I think a lot of it is how many Ugins do you own?
Yes, yeah, Ugin is a house of a card, and if you don't have the Ugins yet, or if you have $300 that you want to part with to get those Ugins,
I think Broodscale is very underrepresented right now
Mhm.
and very powerful.
agreed. I would actually say I love Brood Scale right now. I'd really highly recommend it. I know we were just talking about Ugins, and with the prevalence of said Ugins, they don't really hit anything in your Brood Scale deck. He's a vintage player. Okay, he probably.
Oh, I'm
has.
sorry. We're talking about $80 cards, not $3,000
Yeah,
cards.
that's on us. That is on us. It won't happen again. It will. I'm kidding. It'll happen in like 5 minutes. But yeah, I think that Brood Scale is a deck that currently, as Jake said, is pretty underrepresented, but it has a lot of potential. It can combo off very fast. But one thing I really like about it is that it does not rely on its infinite combo to win games.
Yes.
I bought the Ugins when they were spoiled. Nice. Very nice.
Oh gosh, Tony has 3 cards in deck, I think.
Way may just be playing the long game.
I think he's playing to the I'm gonna mill you out game.
Yeah. What an insane way to play.
I told you this a while ago. Oh no, what do you
I think this is a mistake. I think. Oh,
unless
hold on. Does he go lethal here?
There was a Catamos trigger. I've done this.
Oh, Way is making sure those Ketchamos triggers happen, really thinning out that library.
So we have an Overlord trigger.
And that's fine for Tony if he gets lethal right here, and it looks like he does. His entire deck is upside down. Looks like
yeah.
he's playing against Mill right now.
So does Way have? Here's another question: does Way have an instant speed way to exile a card?
Exile.
'Cause
You know
it-
what? Let me pull up his deck list. I know some Boros energy lists are playing March of Otherworldly Light. Way's Hellbent.
Okay, he's Hellbent. So there's
Okay.
okay. So we have. I don't know. We have affiliate. If Tony makes a mistake and blinks something affiliate, Tony loses on the spot.
Now,
Are you just playing with those two?
yeah, just nothing can enter exile, no Ophelia triggers, nothing like that. Wow.
Okay, so we're going to game number 3.
Tony pulls through just barely. What a game. Honestly, that was a barn burner for anybody who was watching. I am really thrilled you were able to join us on that.
That was a wild one.
Absolutely. There was a lot of, honestly, amazing play.
That was
forth there
insane.
by both Tony and Way. I know Tony is breathing a sigh of relief, but we are not out of the woods yet because Way is back on the play
Yep.
for game 3, and we saw how quickly that can go sideways for Tony. Even when Tony was on the draw, he was really reliant on pulling that Ketchermos. So let's see how game 3 goes. As for Pithing Needle on Wasteland, if you've got the Ugins, I tell you what, give Eldrazi ramp a go. I think it's really well positioned right now. I think you just need to make sure you are running enough dismembers to deal with the Harbingers that will undoubtedly be finding their way in the main board. of the
Harbingers,
Broadsides.
Magus of the Moons.
Yep.
Ketramoses. There's a lot of things you got to plan for if you're an Eldrazi player. I think the deck's still very good.
I would have lost. I mean, if I was a Yume, I wouldn't have picked it up. I mean, You can give me the odds if you really want to.
All right, now I'm
We
gonna
might
step
have a-
out.
But it is a bit tricky.
Okay.
Technical. That's why I was like thinking about like you.
Yeah,
won't-
when you
yeah.
get it,
Yeah,
Okay, we're
like,
going
yeah,
game 3, I'm
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sure.
but, like, that was, like, it's
They-
fine,
I think both these players are like, I think it's dinner time,
Yeah.
and it is 5:13, so I agreed it's dinner time. But
Absolutely. Now I'm gonna step out for just a moment where you can listen to these
Yeah.
players talk over what they have going on. But Jake, can I get you a beverage, sir? You need something caffeinated?
I'm good. I got
It's
my
the finals.
water. I'm chilling.
All right, yes, sir.
Let's see how many people we got watching today. Pull on my phone, see what we got going on.
Sorry for the favor. Like it's the first.
This is my first.
We got 19 people in the chat. We've been about 19 people almost all day. We are in our top 8. If you have friends and chats of Magic players, definitely drop the Twitch link for people. I know we've had a couple of people join. We got a new person talking. Mr. Pith Needle Wasteland, if you got some friends, drop the link in the chat. Have them hang out. I'll give more shout outs. If you like what you're seeing, you can pick up a lot of these cards on impactgamingcenter.gg. If you are interested in subscribing to the Twitch channel, give us some of those Bezos bucks. Impact plays something almost every single day of the week. So there's always something fun to watch. And then if you're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. What are you playing for Modern RCQ season? I've asked this in almost every video so far. What are you going to be playing? What do you think's good? Impact Gaming Center is, I would say, the premier gaming store in the greater St. Louis area. The shop rocks, like 3,600 square feet of gameplay area, tons of singles. The guys who are running the shop are grade A individuals. So if you're ever in St. Louis, check us out. It's only 20 minutes outside the city limits. If you are flying into Lambert International Airport, it's like 20-minute drive. I drive by it every single time I come over here because I live on the other side of the city, but I still make the hour drive here because this shop rocks. Let's push us back to the battlefield. Not going to do any of the fancy transition stuff because we'll do that when we're done with the game. But let's see what we got going on. Tony had keep, I believe, way ahead of Mulligan. Guard to the bottom. And we're off to the races. Tony has a fatal push in hand. Definitely a great start for that deck. Going to be able to pick off whatever bomb turn 1 way he's going to be putting out.
You'd have to take a shot tonight.
And we got a Guide Souls. Probably the premier start here for this Boros Energy deck. Tony going to play out he's got the Shrine. And got a Swamp. Got a couple ways we're going to push this Guide of Souls. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
Swamp.
Really? Yeah. Really quick before they get too far into this game, I just want to share the information from the other games of top 8. The other quarterfinal games have already been completed, and the Impact Gaming Center team, who had 3 individuals representing them in top 8, have 3 individuals representing in top 4. That is right.
Whoa! So this is our only non-Impact Gaming match right here. Let's go, Team IGC!
Absolutely.
Let's go!
Ben Bauer taking down Joe. We had Will taking down Mike. And Kevin took down Lucas. So at this point in time, Wei and Tony are fighting for the only non-IGC representation in
Let's
the top.
go, Team IGC. Do you know if Hobbs and all the other guys are out there?
They are out there.
Nice. That's awesome.
So we are really watching this game unfold and really excited for how this top 8 is looking.
So let's see. An untap and a draw. Notably, Tony didn't push this Guide of Souls.
And I wouldn't either. I would wait until I see a creature on the stack to push it.
That's fair. Make Way use his mana before
Yes.
anything.
And
right
if I'm Tony, I don't care about taking 1 damage.
No.
I'm not worried about pushing it before that. I want to take all the time I can. He's got the Affiliate of
There's-
Flash in as well. Yeah, really good decision making here.
Way has a discharge to hand though, so this Philia may not be long for the world.
Now, that said, I think I just saw a Wrath of the Skies in Tony's hand. Way is having a bit of a slow start, which is a really good sign for Tony. That said, Tony having Wrath of the Skies, he kind of wants Way to throw everything onto the board so that he can blow him out with a Wrath of the Skies. But let's see how this game develops.
Mill 4. Can't grab any of them because you cannot grab Overlords off the Overlords. It says
Non-avatar, I believe. Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna just kill the Overlord in response to the Philia trigger. Not gonna use up this Galvanic Discharge just yet. Pass the turn, Way with a fetch down to 13.
You have 3 cards in hand.
Gonna Surveil. You have 3 cards in hand, says Way, or I have 3 cards in hand, says Way, and Tony, and Way says, how many do you have? Tony said, a bunch. So I'm going to assume Tony's got probably 5 or 6. That's always one of those weird things when you mulligan and you're on the play, and it's like turn 4, and you're like, oh man, I got like 2 cards in hand. My opponent's got like 7.
Yeah. Can feel very scary. Now, Tony also has not deployed his 1-for-1s, like his Fatal Push. He has not deployed those yet, and I think that's a great play. He's being really patient, and that's just how he wants to play.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Agreed.
Make Way put his stuff on the board, because the only chance Way has of winning is if he puts enough things on the board. And Tony's like, you know what? I don't need a bunch of things. I just need a bunch of good things. Because I would say, for the most part, Tony's cards are a little bit better. Way's perform better, I think, if
Yeah.
I was thinking about it in a specific.
I think in a vacuum
direction.
especially.
Yes. Here comes a discharge.
Yep, there it is.
We have an
Good
ephemerate.
call.
We
Do you
do.
want to?
Tony,
And I'm gonna say no, because I see a Solitude in the hand. Solitude Ephemerate is a nasty combo, so I hold the Ephemerate for sure.
we're just going to Kraken for 1. Do we take it? Well, think about this. We're
gonna-
thinking on this Fatal Push.
Yeah. I think it's a really interesting decision right now.
Yep.
So personally, I would be holding the push and hoping Way develops his board and then deploying a Wrath of the Skies, then having a push afterward. However, Way's not really developing his board. And
No.
I think it put Tony in a really interesting position where he needs to start thinking about, do I just Solitude Ephemerate and look to go Solitude Beaters off whatever else Way deploys post-push? And I think it's a good play.
Both of these players kept very answer-heavy hands.
Yes. Which means, buckle in, folks. We may be ready for another long game 3.
Oh yeah, we might be here for a minute.
Is it possible to be here for both a good time and a long time?
No.
Then we're here for a long time, not a good time.
Nah, it's always a good time here to make gaming center.
Absolutely.
There's
Always.
a Showdown. What do we got? We have a Voice of Victory, also
Oh
Pride,
my.
land, and also wowie
Okay.
zowie.
And right off the rip, this Wrath of the Skies is looking really good.
Let's pull up this Voice of Victory for anyone who may not have seen it.
You play a Windswept Heath.
Voice of Victory, a 2-mana 1/3, mobilize 2. Whenever it attacks, you make 2 tapped attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens that go away at the beginning of the next end step. The big part about this card, your opponent can't cast spells during your turn. So that whole Solitude Ephemerate, well, no, it ain't.
Yeah, he's going to have to do it on his own turn, which is not really ideal. But look, I mean, just look at how crazy that Showdown is. And that's really showcasing why it got put in the deck when One Ring got banned. The card advantage we're seeing out of it is crazy. Now, please keep in mind the cats will trigger on the end step along with the sacrifice trigger for the mobilized creatures. that if you have the city's blessing, those Ocelot prides will make copies of those red attacking warrior tokens.
But the big part is Wei hasn't gained life this turn yet, has he?
Wei has not.
So they're they're just regular old kitty cats.
Correct. So yeah, I think
No, I think tied.
go for a really big Wrath of the Skies here. I think that it ended up panning out. Wei had a huge showdown to develop his board, and this is going to be Tony's opportunity.
Oh,
now.
I mean, Tony could if Tony has another land in hand, he just puts it all in his Wrath of Skies,
And
blows up
the
everything.
showdown as well. Yeah.
Didn't gain lives. So,
Didn't gain life, so go.
Okay, puts it into play tapped. Yep. So he's not going to get bamboozled by the Voice of Victory.
But I mean, let's say that Tony just does this for 2 and pays 4. Honestly, probably not the end of the world because the
Sh-
showdown's not going to do a whole lot.
Yeah. The showdown on its third chapter is really only good if you still have pieces in exile to hit.
Yep. Here's a draw. There's a Bowmaster, so not a land.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, really awkward draws for sure for Tony here, but I think he's still in just a really, really
4.
good spot. Wrath on 2. Yep. Wow.
There goes there goes that whole showdown of skulls because that was, I mean, the 3 creatures in a land.
Yeah. Really explosive, but
Did Tony take the one for the fetch? I don't remember. I don't know.
now in
20 cards, I think.
in a very interesting way, you could think of that Wrath of the Skies as being a 1-for-1 with the showdown.
Yep.
So while it may have looked insane, we're honestly in a really similar place to where we were
Yeah.
before that showdown was drawn. So I think that's really interesting here. But again, Tony still has Solitude Ephemerate as an option. That is going to be crazy for dealing with now that Wei's really out of gas. We're going to see, we're going to see that be a haymaker.
Does Wade get a Flage? Well, Wade does not have a Arena of Glory, so the Flage would not come down and with haste.
Of this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Showdown goes away. It doesn't mean it doesn't trigger its third chapter. So if Wei has 2 creatures, one would end the counter. But I think Wei just has Static Prison and he has Static Prison, Thraben Charm.
Yeah.
We're just gonna pass the turn.
answers. And I think if I am Tony,
Yeah, if I add another one.
we are deploying our
the ability till the end of turn, but it goes.
Philias and looking to play beaters. We're hoping to bait out some answers from Wei, and we're just going to hold up Solitude Ephemerate. And I know I keep talking about it, but that I really believe that's going to be a haymaker in this game.
Oh, I think it totally matters. Like right here,
Yep.
where you can hit both the Ajani and the cat, and now Tony has a beater. Actually, so I guess the problem is that
At the end of your turn, I'm gonna hard cast a solitude.
I was just gonna hard cast a
Okay.
Solitude.
And I don't hate that.
Discard.
Yeah, so this right here is the only reason I was scared of that play, is that he didn't shock the Godless Shrine, so he doesn't have the ability to now ephemerate the Solitude in
Yep.
response.
Which Wei could always, hit it with the Thraben Charm, but at least you're going even on cards here.
Right. So this is going to be fine because he still gets to take the Ajani, and then he can use Bowmaster to trim the cat.
Yep.
2, 1. 2, and that tags out. Okay.
All right. Now, Thraben Charm looks really bad without any creatures, and he just top decked a Witch Enchanter. So this is information only privy to those of us watching right now. But while Wei has a great answer to whatever threats Tony deploys in Static Prison, we know that Tony is holding up a Witch Enchanter to clear it. So this is really, really looking good for Tony. But we never count out these energy decks. They are explosive. So let's see if he can find another crazy answer like Showdown.
Here comes a Bowmaster. Do we have a weird piece of paper that we use, or cardboard piece we're using? There it is.
Happy to see it.
There goes that. He could have done the Thraben Charm trick with the Goblin Bombardment, but... Oh, no, wait. No, because the thing sticks around.
Yeah.
Never mind. There's the Fable, which is huge.
Yes.
But
Does
Tony
present
could
huge
just blow it up
advantages.
with the Switch Chainer.
Or he may just leave it and trust that he doesn't want to draw cards because of these Bowmasters on the table.
End your turn.
And he can Philia to just blink the token and make it go away.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe there's a world where he lets that Fable stick.
Do we Thraben Charm? Well, we can Thraben Charm the Theophilia
Yeah.
because it's double. There's another Wrath of the Skies.
Yeah, that doesn't look so good yet.
Let's see. Static Prism, Thraben Charm.
Yeah. And Way's going to let that happen. Yep. Exactly as you expected.
Yes, sir.
Way really in the tank about this. But I think you have to do it. I think keeping
I
that
agree.
Goblin Shaman around, that's his only board presence. So it's
A Goblin Shaman that at one point was more expensive than Tarmogoyf.
yes, yeah. What a world we live in.
One of the best cards in Modern. I actually want to. We got. He's taking some time. I want to pull up the.
Yeah, Way does it. He deploys the Thraben Charm, 2 damage targeting Philia.
I actually don't know how to look at tokens. So the cheapest Goblin Shaman on TCG Play right now is let's go LP at $8.
Yikes.
And the cheapest Goyf we can get right now on TCG Play
Oh my goodness.
is the same price as. Oh my gosh, it's the
Ultimate
same
Masters
price.
for the same price.
It's Karma Goyf is the same price as the token still. Oh no! Oh no! Wait. There's this.
Oh, they reprinted it in the Commander deck, I think.
No, or
Scrounging Deathclaw?
no. This is the Fallout one.
Okay.
That's wild. Sorry, folks. We just I didn't know this. A bunch of things have happened. We're gonna blow up the Static Prison. Get back to Philia.
Looks like Tony opted to deploy the Ephemerate to try and save the Felia from the Thraben Charm, at which time Way... Oh, and he thought seizes to take the other Static Prison.
That's huge.
That is. That means that Way is staring down a... Basically... Yeah, this is really, really scary for Way. I think he's praying for Flage.
I think he has to be. Well, he gives us 0 information on what he drew.
Yep.
3 mana.
It is 3. That is the other 3.
Spiromancer.
Okay, really good. That might be even better, honestly. Just because it lets him
Just
draw
draw 2
2 and maybe
cards.
find the Flage now.
I think we might have hit a land though. I think it's the land of Johnny.
That's not bad. He could widen up the board.
There's Flooded Strand. And figure it out. Yep, I was right.
Johnny.
Land of Johnny.
Wow.
Spiromancer also being very good because if it dies, he could Tony gets 2 more blockers.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we haven't seen a Ketramos yet, so
I'm gonna wrap the skies up.
Oh, Wrath on
3.
3.
That's pretty big.
Wow.
So now we just have the lone Witch Enchanter on the field.
Coming in. So, and Tony's looking at a planes in hand. So
We're
this
in-
is anyone's game.
We're in top deck mode right now.
Yeah, this is a Flage off the top for Way would be, I would go so far as to say insurmountable.
Oh, I mean, I think this game is decided in the next 2 draws.
Agreed. I mean, as you said just a moment ago, Tony hasn't seen any of his 4 Ketramoses, so there's a increasing chance that he's going to rip one off the top.
Do you deploy? I mean, oh man, I guess I don't even know what you do. I think Wrath of the Skies was right, but man, saying goodbye to your own Ophelia and Bowmaster cannot feel good.
Yeah,
But you can't let a Johnny flip.
Yes.
We just need to keep it for the string.
All right, let's see what it is. Oh,
Guide
it's
of
a guide.
Souls.
That's a good hit.
So we can guide. We can also instant speed bring back the 2 dudes.
Yes, but look at the energy that Wei has right now. He can make this guide scary.
Oh, this Guide of Souls is going to be a 3/4, whatever it is, in a minute.
Yeah.
But Wei is going to bring back the
Make
Spiromancer.
Dudes gain the life. Wow. And I think this is just a testament to how good this Boros energy deck is. As Jake, as you said earlier, not only is it an aggro deck, but it grinds like a champ. And we have seen that in game 2 and game 3. It doesn't seem like it's running out of gas.
No.
Just keeps doing more. And now he's got 6 energy. That is enough to activate the Guide of Souls twice. Of course, it's only able to be activated once per combat.
Did you know Guide triggers even if you don't have the energy?
Yes, I did. It goes on the stack, and then you can't pay. Thank you, MTGO.
You can Tidebinder the trigger, even if it doesn't have the thing.
Absolutely.
I learned that. I was like, really, this is really cool. So don't go to the dice yet, Way. You get a bunch more energy.
All right. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Wow. And that's both of Tony's Wrath of the Skies. Solitude, Ketramos.
I think there's so many things. Overlord. Overlord's huge.
Overlord is, again, with the Solitude in the bin, it looks good, but
So
Tony is sandbagging a land so he can impend the Overlord, hard cast the Solitude.
Yep.
And that is what I would do in this scenario. Let's see if Tony opts for that.
I'm gonna. I'm intending it.
we don't know what Way has in hand, though. He's got 1 card.
Yes. Now, each of these players' top decks have and a
Ketramos.
Ketramos.
Gargotreller. Relic Ophelia.
That's hot. That's hot.
This is a big rip.
Both of these players are hitting just heaters off their top decks. Yep, he's going to
Get back the Solitude. We know he has the planes.
Yep, he can play the planes, and then Way will be aware of the line.
Yep.
But
There's our planes.
What are you? Oh, he's just gonna.
Gonna
Okay,
do it
he's
now?
not gonna wait for combat. That's fine. That's fine. I think the right move is to wait because if you see the Flage, you need to deploy it. But that's okay.
Yes. I don't
That's
disagree.
okay.
Get in with the Witch Enchanter down to 10. Draw.
Yeah, it's my bad.
Thank you, Hagen.
Yep. Now, as all of our other top 8 matches have wrapped, Hagen he's been over the shoulder of these.
He's got 1 job, and we got Showdown. Showdown the Scolds.
Wow.
Oh my God, this is huge.
Wow. All right, let's see it.
Discharge, the removal, land, Flage, land. So we have 2 main options. I mean, we play the land, I think, no matter what.
Yep. And now he gets access to both. I'm throwing the Flage first so that I can escape and discharge on the next turn.
I agree. And you can pump up that Flage, which would
Yes.
be huge.
Way does not have an Arena of Glory yet.
Nope.
So slows that down ever so marginally.
Land. I think you got to get rid of this. You got to Flage of Solitude.
Especially while he's tapped out. There's no Ephemerate.
Yeah, that's massive. And this Overlord's not coming out for a minute.
Yes. Now, who would have thought after watching that first game how quickly we packed it in maybe
And
5
now
or
we
6
are-
turns?
I think we're an hour into this game or something. This has been a
Tony
long one.
had milled out. Way opts for Galvanic Discharge. He's going to get a lot of energy. Now, 1, 2, 3. Wei does have the mana to cast and escape Flage in the same turn. So I could see that being a very important play pattern. Now, keep in mind, that's lethal on Tony right now. With 2 elementals on the table, he can't swing the Witch Enchanter, or the 2 elementals will put him to 6, and the Flage will hit twice with that Lightning Helix effect.
We don't know what Tony drew for turn either.
We do not.
He has a land something. It might be a march. If he has a march, that's also huge.
Yes, yes.
Here comes Flage number 1.
Play trigger.
Who are you talking with the Flage?
Yeah, just saying like
Yeah,
cast
yeah,
trigger.
cast trigger.
Comes out, gives a counter to one of the elementals, I'm sure. Yep.
Right here.
Yep. Wow, the trigger is still on the step.
We're up to 35 viewers.
Very nice.
Holy
very nice.
moly.
Thank you guys for joining us and for such
This has been a heck of a game.
Yeah, I came 3 from.
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
It was a march.
thing for free.
We're going to untap, draw.
You go.
And there's the handshake. Wow.
Wow.
We are.
Something ended up mattering to you, ended up wrapping, but you missed 2 Spellmaster triggers on his Pyromancer.
We're going to
Yeah.
mute the table, but holy moly, was that a game of magic.
That was
Thank
insane.
you, everyone, for sticking in the chat, sticking through that crazy game.
Now, don't go anywhere. The rest of the top 8 is already done, which means we will be jumping to the next round
Oh,
almost
it'll be
immediately.
almost immediate. Last things, if you're watching on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on Twitch, we got 35 of you in the chat. Subscribe. Make sure you hit the follow button. There's something in Impact every single night. If you saw these decks and you're like, hey, I need some flages for my RCQ season. I need some catcher moches. Check out impactgamingcenter.gg for all of your Magic the Gathering needs. This is Jake.
And this is Lincoln.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back in like 5 minutes with the next round.
Absolutely. Thank you, folks.